Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2018 Hockey Nova Scotia Day of Champions. Today's game is between representing the Hockey Nova Scotia's North Conference, Glace Bay Miners. Their opponents, representing the Hockey Nova Scotia South Conference, please welcome the Chebucto Athletics! Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I ask you now to please rise and remove your headwear for the playing of our national anthem.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the beautiful Rath Eastlink Community Center here in Toronto, Nova Scotia. It is the Hockey Nova Scotia Day of Champions, Adam AA Provincial Championship up for grabs between the Glace Bay Miners and the Chebucto Athletics. Hi, everybody, Dan Hobson, delighted to be here calling this one. Of course, it's going to be a fantastic matchup between a couple of good teams that have had fantastic seasons. The Chebucto Athletics second, just behind the Bedford Blues, and 16 wins, 5 losses, and 5 ties. And of course, they have had some success in the playoffs as well. Won a Tournament of Champions for the CMHL title with 6 games played, 5 wins, 1 loss, and no ties, and defeated Bedford in the championship game 5-1 to win the CMHL Tournament of Champions title. So the team's now just doing their warm-ups. You had a chance to see the introductories. Of course, I've seen this championship for years online, and Bell 5 TV1 glad to be here once again. And it is, of course, a fun few days here. Pretty well a Game 7 for everybody coming into this. A one-game winner takes all as the teams now continue to do their warm-up, and seeing some of the players before the game and doing their little bit of runs and stuff, you could see that the Glace Bay Miners were relatively loose. Some of them arrived in town here in Truro just last night here and had a chance to settle in for their hotels, and rather than, of course, leave first thing this morning and get here for the game. So we'll see how that strategy works out there. Of course, the Chebucto Athletics just 45, 50 minutes just down the road. Let's talk about the coaching staff. The Chebucto Athletics are coached by Jarrett Glazebrook. And Glazebrook, you see sometimes in the minor hockey right around this area, usually a coach is affiliated because the son's affiliated. Not necessarily the case here. In this one, Glazebrook is a non-parent and coaches, and he is 100% committed to the team. And of course, some of the players here say that the success that they've had in their regular season is because of their coach, Jarrett Glazebrook. And Robert St. Clair is the head coach here of the Glace Bay Miners. So having a pretty good season, and they have really punched their ticket here to these championships. As I say, let's run down some of their accomplishments. They've had a lot of tournament victories. They were the winners of the 45th annual Dieppe Memory Cook Tournament, and that's up in New Brunswick, and Alan Sullivan Tournament Championship, the Cape Breton Cup. And they went 6-0 in that. They defeated the Cape Breton West in the final 9-0 and beat the Antigonish Bulldogs in the Northern Conference game 4-0. So you look at their portfolios, everybody, and that's pretty well going to indicate that it's going to be a very good game between both these two teams here. And you know that they are excited to be here, and the parents, of course, have made the trip here to the Community Credit Union Arena. It's the official location of this club, and it's here at the RAF East Lane Community Center. So just another final conversation here with the players and the coach and staff here of the Miners. Owen Lytle will be the starting goaltender here for the Chebucto Atlantics, wearing a real different uniform number for a goaltender that I'm actually used to, number 16. And you've seen that on the number on the back of Brett Hall's, but you haven't really seen it as a goaltender. William Stonehouse in between the pipes here for the Miners. So Ryan Hickey will get the start here on the forward line along with Owen Hickey. And Will Brown there for the Chebuctos. Tucker St. Clair, that's a guy to keep an eye on. Pilling. And Luke St. Clair, the starting line there for the Miners as we are underway. The Miners in the whites and the Chebucto Atlantics in the greens. And it's Luke St. Clair starting things off now to Pilling there, who's trying to get things going here along the near side boards. The pass is picked off, and Hickey was hoping to go for a breakaway, but a nice little stick coming back was the defenseman there for the Glace Bay Miners to get away of that one. Of course, the Glace Bay Miners have a female on this team. Keep an eye out for her. She's there, number 17, in the long hair. That is Brooklyn McNeil as the puck is frozen along the boards, and the referee will just blow the whistle just like that as we're 39 seconds in. Of course, 15-minute periods, back-to-back 15-minute periods, just maybe about a minute or two of intermission between the first and the second. And, of course, the intermission between the second and third period. So it's sort of like Major Bantam rules, and actually Pee-wee, pardon me. So they're going to bring that face-off back just on the Chebucto Atlantic side of ice. Powell will take the draw here. Tyler Powell against McDonald. Powell there tried to scoop it away and trying to go off to the races. And Handley will send it in. And back for it now for the Atlantics here is McFettridge. And they got a nice little breakout here. Powell gets the pass. Rink wide. Chip now going with it. Chip there, tried to get a shot, and the stick got in the way of that one. But the Atlantics looking pretty good, trying to wrap around with the attempt was Powell. Didn't get much on the shot. Miners having difficulty clearing now. Clarks stops, pops, right to the middle. Wrist shot, and that hit McNeil and goes towards the corner. The Chebucto Atlantics were gassed when they needed a change. They finally get it completed, but they had some good pressure going. They'll put that St. Clair line back out there, Luke St. Clair as well as Tucker St. Clair. And filling there for the Miners as we pass 2 minutes gone here, here in the opening frame. Oh, that was a nice little spin move there by Walters. Lead pass there for Clark. And the Miners were on a breakout there. Here's our first penalty coming up, and Walters is going to be called for the trip as he hauled down the Miner player. He started putting on the jets and turning it on. And now he will go off to the box for 2 or more. Just 2 minutes shy of the 2-minute mark of the period, so this Pilling and St. Clair line, as well as Murphy and LaFour, will try to get something going here on this power play here for the Glace Bay Miners. Pilling behind the boards. There, centering, that's a shot there, and coming up with a save there was Lytle. Right there on the doorstep was St. Clair. A nice little feed. Atlantics here having some difficulty clearing. They might get a chance now. Here's Max Darcy. He'll find the hole and send it down. 2.5 gone here in the first. A tripping penalty to Walters. Neville will send it along the far side. Picked off. Here's McFetridge. And now the Miners will break out. So far, they're having a hard time getting out of their own zone in this game, and McFetridge will have a chance to dump it down all the way, further down, but was unable to, and it's back out neutral ice and into the Chebucto zone. 50 seconds left in the penalty to Walters. He's off for a trip. As a shot there from Powell doesn't get through, or pardon me, for Walker, Brady Walker, number 14. There's Brooklyn McNeil, unable to keep it in, so it's going to be dumped back in there by Nearing, and they'll get a change going in McDonald's line as well as Cohen McNeil. Here is McDonald there. Oh, and a nice little piece of work there done by Kane Clark to pick his pocket, and they'll send it down the rest of the way. 18 seconds left in the penalty. That just about might do it here for the Miners. Maybe one dangerous scoring chance, but the Chebucto Atlantics look pretty good. And, oh, nice little spin move by Matheson there. Matheson now with some room and some open ice, a shot, and that doesn't get through as that hit Darcy there. Max Darcy, 18 in the green jersey. Oh, and bumping his man down there. That was, of course, Brady Matheson that fell down and has the puck again, spins and falls again. So there's a chance here for a breakout, and it's a little bit too far out of the reach. So Brooklyn McNeil will come up with it, and we'll set it over to the far side. Cathcart there, trying to come up with a loose puck there for the Miners. As it's picked off, here's Clark. Clark doing some great work, but just before he center, it has his pocket picked. Miners here trying to chip it out, and back out center ice it goes. Clark, rink-wide pass. Tried to follow up there and maybe play it to himself. Kinsey Smith. And a second penalty is coming up. Heartland there near center ice area. So this will be our second penalty. It's going to be body contact. This is going against the Atlantics again. Exactly 5 minutes gone here in the first. Well, see what they've got in store here in this one here. These Miners out of Glace Bay. Of course, a lot of them hoping to maybe have future aspirations of playing for that Junior B franchise. There's a wrist shot. And Lytle with a blocker save forward now. Send it in towards the corner. St. Clair goes down. There's two St. Clairs. Luke St. Clair is 12 and Tucker St. Clair, number 16. They're both out here on this top line, as well as Pilling for the Miners. There's a wrist shot. Scores! Lytle played it with his blocker right in towards the net. And O'Hanley there with a long distance shot makes it 1-0. You can tell that his teammates loved him after that one. He went down to the ice and he was getting pats on the back. like nobody's business. Power play goal, 5:28 of the first period. Now the Chebucto Athletics did a pretty good job killing the penalty there on the first one, but the second one, a little bit of trouble in that shot there from 55 feet out. Handcuff Lytle. That's why we've seen this, and we've talked about it probably if you've been a lot of TV1 hockey broadcasts in the past. Winning faceoffs, that could be your Achilles heel if you don't win them. And that was the case. They could have cleared and maybe prevented that scoring chance, but it ended up they lost the face-off. Brody O'Hanley, power play goal. And Tucker Sinclair with an assist on that one. And back goes LaFour into his own zone there. And try to hit it up there to Walker. That's kept along the line there by Darcy, but Darcy turns it over. And the Miners will break 3 wide once again. Kyle Nearing now. Nearing, 1-on-2, tried to go cross ice. Over right there on the doorstep was Neville. And he was wide open, like wide open. 6.5 gone here in the first period. O'Hanley, power play goal, has the Miners up by 1. Walker just trying to go off for a change there, trying to get it deep. Was not able to, but got the change done anyway. Here comes McNeil now, trying to spin away. Nice little move there. Tried to center and hit the skate of Darcy. Brooklyn McNeil keeps it in there for the Miners. And she may get a chance to put one towards the net. No, she'll send it in towards the corner as they try to get that cycle game going. McNeil down to McDonald. There's a wrist shot there by Matheson right on the doorstep, and Lytle had to be sharp for that save. Shots 4-0 so far. Chebucto Athletics. Miners still pressing as McNeil stole right off of Smith's stick. Now McDonald. Oh, nice little drag. McDonald. Oh, he made a couple of nice moves, but unable to get the shot once he got close to that blue ice area. Just past the halfway point here, the opening period. And so far, the Chebucto Atlantic still looking for their first shot. They had some pressure, but they didn't get anything towards Stonehouse. And then the Miners looked really a little bit flat on the first power play, but boy, that has opened them up, and now they've got things going and cooking with gas since that power play goal, and they're putting more pressure back on. 7 minutes ago here in the opening frame. And now the Atlantics hope to get things going on the attack with Chip here. And they'll get out the center ice area. And the Miners steal. A little bit of an odd man rush as the Miners are changes here. Luke St. Clair through the blue ice. Lytle got a piece of it, and it's cleared out of harm's way there by the Atlantics. Ford stands his ground there and keeps the puck there on their side of the ice, of the Chebucto Athletics, that is. And now they'll make a full change and see if the Chebucto Athletics now can make some hay with this opportunity of open ice. Kane Clark there. Oh, has his pocket picked here by Neville. Neville's off to the races on a 2-on-2. Neville going wide. Looking for help, centers it, puts it right onto the stick there, Clark. And Clark was unable to get really anything muster in terms of an attack there for the Atlantics. Atlantic still looking for that first shot. 9 minutes gone here in the period. Murphy up there, and Owen Hickey trying to come up with a loose puck. He blows the tire. Ryan Hickey has it. He'll go back to the point. Wrist shot there by Brown, and it's blocked. And there goes Walker now, Brody Walker, and he runs out of real estate, and a nice read there by Lytle to come out and freeze it. Brody Walker turning on the Jets. I know one thing for sure, that right now, that probably Robert St. Clair has got to be pretty happy with his defensive play here from his team. No shots yet. 5:33 left to go. The opening period. There's a clean face-off win by the Atlantics, but they turn the puck over close to the blue line, and Now they're in scramble mode trying to get things going in terms of attack the other way. Puck caught up in the linesman's skate, so he's got to get out of dodge there. And it will be the Athletics that will start the breakout now, along with Brown. Has his pocket picked. And they go high off the boards. McDonald once again has Matheson in the trailer there, but they're unable to set something up that time. Center ice area, flip back in. More changes here as once again that top line out there for them is Tucker St. Clair, Luke St. Clair, and Pilling for the Miners. Chebucto Athletics looking like they're just trying to maybe find something positive here on this trip. Here's Chip now, a little bit too far out of reach, so the Miners will dump it back in. 4:28 left to go in the first period. Luke St. Clair going to try to wrap around, but Lytle right there, Johnny on the spot as he went post to post and was right solid against the post to prevent that wraparound for the Miners. Luke St. Clair once again, he's almost in Gretzky's office more than Gretzky ever is. Back to the blue line, can it be kept in? Yes, it is, and no, just like that, it's out now, and Power puts a backhander in. As they change all five here, Miners try to catch him at that change. Coming down the ice here is Cathcart. Has his pocket picked. New line out here as they try to hit Walters. He has the puck now. Walters. And a nice little back pass to Darcy. Darcy tries to go over. Hartland there through the blue ice and out the other side. 3:34 left to go, but that's been their dangerous possession here so far for them. But yet to register a shot on goal. 3:26 left. And a penalty coming up, and the Miners are just forcing these Athletics to take penalties. This is the third time they're going to the sin bin this game. Jimmy Rex, who actually missed some time in the season there with a broken foot, and I was actually in the playoffs, and one of their accomplishments was making it through the playoffs. Short one defensive player, Jimmy Rex, who's off for now for the infraction for the trip. Actually was recovering from a broken foot. So here it is, power play number 3 here for the Miners. They're 1 for 2 so far. Lone goal of the game came on it. Puck just outside the line. Neville will dump it in. They're going to call Rex for interference, pardon me. So it's an interference penalty to Rex. Either way, it's still a penalty. And it's a power play opportunity for the Miners, and it's their third one. 5-0 still. The shots in favor of the Miners. Oh, crashing towards the net there. The Miners, and referee stops play. But this is what hurts when you're in a 15-minute period. Of course, these teams are accustomed to this sort of style, sort of minutes being played. But 3 penalties, and that means that if you're pretty well 6 minutes of the 15, you're killing penalties. And it really makes it hard to really generate offensive opportunities. Shot for McDonald, scored! McDonald with the shot and was going wide, and I think McNeil chipped it in to keep it and put it in the post. 2-0, another power play goal. 12:31. Because I think McDonald's shot was going to go wide, and then right there was Cohen McNeil to make sure and almost did it like a deflection and put it in the net. And it makes it 2-0. So the people watching back home in Glace Bay, Cohen McNeil was a little bit eager, so offside's the call here. So I say the people back home watching at Glace Bay must be pretty happy.
assisted by number 9, Caleb McDonald, and number 7, Brady Matheson.
So they've got some work cut out for them here, this Chebucto Atlantic team. This kind of doesn't help the process. They've iced the puck with 2:01 left to go. 2 goals on 6 shots here for Lytle. And so far, William Stonehouse waiting for his first shot of this one. All clean face-off win. Once again, the big line out there for the Miners. The St. Clair, and Pilling line. As in the wraparound attempt, once again, Luke St. Clair and Lytle covers up. Also a little bit of a green wall set up there, so they defended that well, the Atlantics did. 1 minute and 48 seconds left to go in the first period. Of course, the Chebucto Atlantics. I talked about some of how their season has gone. Keep an eye on Kane Clark, number 9. He's a leading scorer, so keep an eye on him and his line. And he's going to have to really do well against this St. Clair Pilling line. 1 minute 34 left to go here in the first period. Teams will switch sides and get themselves a little bit of a drink there before the second period. Of course, 15 minutes pretty well back to back. St. Clair will go back to the point here. Walters. Or pardon me, Cathcart, and another Swan dive, but not enough time as they score again. The Miners are making hay here against the Atlantics, and they're waving it off, folks. It's waved off. A goal celebration, and then the referee has waved it off, so we'll stay at 2-0. And that gets a little bit of a Chebucto Atlantic reaction here. They haven't had a lot to cheer about. 7-0 the shots on goal, 2-0, so. Pilling to take the draw here against Clark. So the Clark, Walters, and Smith line, that will be their line that's really been really good for them for the season. Kenzie Smith, number 3. Under a minute to go here in the first. Butterfly style there for Lytle as he gets a post there. They're trying to set up St. Clair there, Tucker St. Clair, and he was unable to handle the pass, and Chebucto Atlantic send it down. Will not have enough gas for icing, so the icing is waved off. And now here they go. Walters there, they put it towards the net, and Stonehouse, and a tip over the net there. They get a good chance, but it goes wide of the net. They have taken a shot off the shots on goal clock, so it is now 6-1. So at least the Atlantics have a shot. That one won't get through as it's blocked. 22 seconds left. Back out they come to center ice. The Miners have a 2-goal lead. Dump it in, Cathcart, and he'll go off for the change. And it's now the Atlantics here. Maybe they'll just try to kill some clock and regroup and get ready for the second period. 6 seconds left. Final chance here for Brown. Rink-wide pass, and that will do it for the period. As the Miners pick, Walker picks it off. So McNeil and O'Hanley 5:28, McNeil 12:31 on the power play. Have Glace Bay up on top 2-0 after the opening 15 minutes of play here on Hockey Nova Scotia's Day of Champions from the Rath East Lake Community Center on Bell 5 TV1. Dan Hobson. Second period just about set to get underway. So we are getting ready for the second period here at the Community Credit Union Arena in Truro. Teams to switch sides. back underway as Power will dump it down there for, or Foot, pardon me, will dump it down there for the Atlantics. Oh, nice little move by Owen Hickey, but he's offside. And Will Brown questioning it there with the linesman, but Hickey, Brown out here as well as Ryan Hickey, so they have the Hickeys on the same line, and see if they get something going here, as the Miners will have to get it outside the blue line. They will do it, and we come quickly back out center ice. Foot now trying to set up Brown again. Pardon me. Sent right back down the ice. And Darcy now has it. Darcy up to the blue line. That's just kept alive there by the Miners as Cathcart there just held the line there. Coming up to a minute gone here in the second period. Miners pressing once again. They controlled that first period, and of course they were aided by 3 power plays, and they scored on 2 of them. There's a rink ride pass here, so we'll see if the Atlantics, who had a little bit of some momentum there late stages of that first period. So when they got their first shot, and they didn't really miss the second one by much. Oh, there's a pass picked off. Wrist shot, and oh, that gets a piece of the crossbar. Ripping that one there was Chip. Aaron Chip, we got a good wrist shot. When you think about it, that placement and that amount of mustard on it for, of course, the age group that we're seeing here, that is just a fantastic shot by him. Aaron Chip. Really impressed with that shot. Carson Smith now with Chip as well as Powell out here. He put the brakes on, and then that allows Luke St. Clair to pick the pocket. And here goes Luke St. Clair for a burst of speed going in. Luke St. Clair. And Lytle with the stop. Got a nice rush there by Luke St. Clair. Tried to wrap around. Lytle makes the stop, and then Pilling tried to wrap around for the blue ice and out the other side. Once again, this team is just pressing. This line has just been fantastic. And another toe save there by Lytle there on the one-timer by St. Clair. Tucker St. Clair waited for that pass, and the Atlantics are probably pretty happy that that shift is over. They have to ice the puck when they get a chance to make some changes, and Lytle with some big saves there. Shots being 8-1, 2-0 to score for the Miners, but that last one there by Owen Lytle was pretty good, where he kicked it right out on that one-timer, and shows that he's been listening to the goaltending skills coach on his team. Of course, the Chebucto Athletics have a fine coaching staff, Jared Glazebrook, and of course, Gregoire Hartley-Smith, and the manager who was talking to, Kathy Powell there, putting in a lot of time, and there is the Athletics now getting a good chance, and that's going to be stopped there by Stonehouse as he covers up, and it might have taken a while for them to get their first shot, but they seem to be that they have been 2 dangerous opportunities here for the Atlantic. So they get some more cracking towards the net there, Stonehouse. Might get a good scoring chance here and maybe bring this 2-goal deficit down to a 1-goal deficit. Scrambled draw. Miners had it momentarily, flipped in there by Rex. And the Miners will once again try to break out here. The St. Clair and Pilling line. Darcy tried to keep that in there for the Atlantics. Clark now turns on the Jets and's trying to spin away. Looking for the return pass, but they put it right into traffic. There really wasn't much Clark could do there, and spinning around and going down on the play there was Hartland. And this will allow Cathcart there. Tries to center for St. Clair. St. Clair now bothered there by a couple of green jerseys. And now the Miners will try to break out. Pass for Walker. He was a little bit too mixed up there. One of the Atlantic players and actually took a bump and fell down. And So there's a delayed offside, so now they'll have a chance to change all 5 and a little bit of open ice here for the Atlantics to get out to center ice area. Coming up to 4 minutes gone here in the second period there in a 2-goal game. There's a wrist shot and a blocker save by Stonehouse. He sends it high towards the corner. Good rebound, directional control there by Stonehouse there with that blocker save. Hickey just fresh off the bench and that's blocked. Rex there, through traffic. Can't get it through. Did just manage just to keep it in, and it just is the word. They have got some pressure here after being outshot 7-1. They've turned things around here, 8-3. Have a little bit more pressure on here. Just past 4.5 here in the second. Excuse me. And the Miners will break out once again. Walker, lead pass, and that's picked off. Nice defensive work there by Kinsey Smith. There's a 2-on-1, possibly 2-on-2 the other way. They can't get it towards the net. Will Brown didn't have anything, slapped it in. There's no green jerseys on that far side boards for them, so it allowed the Miners to come up with it. In the meantime, Kane Clark, who we talked about, makes a couple of nice moves. They like this. Gets through, but loses a handle towards the corner. Well, there's 3 white jerseys. There's a wrist shot, and that didn't miss by much. Another wrist shot. And it might have grazed the post, and it's sent back down. So the Atlantics now tilting the ice. That picked off there by McNeil. He's got one of the 2 goals here for the Glace Bay Miners. And just outside the line, a couple of Miners collide. McNeil picks that pass up. Up boards. McDonald cuts. Matheson there, unable to get a shot there as it's sent towards the corner. Atlantics looking better, defending well. Danny Walters. Quickly up. Hartland now. Hartland Walters. Has Clark there trailing the play. It's in the blue ice. A couple of whacks there as the Atlantics are right there. And you can see that they're close, folks. If you're a fan of the Chebucto Atlantics, you can see they're coming close here. AA Provincial Championship banner up for grabs. Here in this one, the Day of Champions from Truro. The Community Credit Union Arena. Sent down the ice with 8:23 left to go. Yeah, it was kind of thinking like 6-0 were the shots at one time. That was the late stages of that first period. The Miners got 1 there, but here so far, but it's been the Atlantics that have just had a better second period. 8:20 left to go. Dave Champions, we're delighted to be here. And back down and into the corner it goes now for the Miners here. Maybe they can try to break things going out here and get something on the attack. Nice little play by St. Clair. I'm not sure if we meant to do it or not. Here goes St. Clair. St. Clair wrist shot. Lytle with the save. What a nice rush there by Luke St. Clair. You could sort of tell that it was just not sure if he really meant to kick it up to his stick, but he didn't really turn around and look with it when it was happening as he was trying to kick it to his stick, but ended up that's what he did in the process. So unless he's got eyes in the back of his head, kind of was more of a luck to be good sort of thing. But he's had a pretty good season here for the Miners as we hit the halfway point here of the second period. Dave Champions here from Truro. Rink wide pass, too far out of the reach there of Carson Smith. Does chip it in, but unable to get going towards it, so the Miners have everybody back as Cathcart will spin away. Cathcart up to Brooklyn McNeil. Let's say Brooklyn McNeil, one of the females on this team. Of course, sometimes in the northern areas or northern Nova Scotia areas, you see that a lot. We have a penalty coming up. And this will be the first one against the Miners, and it comes at the 8:10 mark of the second period. As you can see that things have changed here because the Atlantic's pressing here. And it's going to cost Kyle Nearing 2 minutes or more. So the Atlantics have a chance to bring this down to a 1-goal game here of their first power play of the evening this afternoon, wherever you're watching. On TV1 online stream at the Day of Champions from Truro. Dan Hobson still recovering from this illness here, so do apologize every once in a while if you hear some coughing out of me. Rich shot, and that's stopped there by Stonehouse. It's in the blue, white shot, scores! Oh, but it's not going to count as the whistle has gone, and Stonehouse looks like he was sort of injured. He's being comforted there by Cathcart. Not sure if he pulled something or what, but that doesn't look very comfortable for him as he bends over in pain. So the puck was shot in the net. I didn't hear a whistle, but the whistle did blow on the play, so no goal. We still 2-0 there for Miners over the Atlantics. The Adam AA Provincial Championship. And the Miners will find a hole, send it right down the middle and back down. And it will be foot first back there for the Atlantics. 5:57 left to go. Here in the period, and come up to 1 minute left in the penalty to Nearing. So the Atlantics are here maybe looking at a possible attack here. It could be the final here on the power play. Clark was calling for the pass. It didn't come. It was dumped in. Clark will be in there, but it will be Cathcart first back here for the Miners. And now Matheson 1-on-2, shorthanded chance. Now trying to kind of wrap around, and a nice little play there by Matheson. Boy, smaller player, but you can see he's got some jets on him. Brady Matheson, number 7 there, as that rolls into Stonehouse. He had some difficulty at first. And gets that big mitt to cover up the puck there with 22 seconds left in the Nearing penalty. And the best chance on the power play belongs to the team in white there, the Miners, shorthanded on Brady Matheson. Just bumped one of course, accidental bumping. It's not checking, but bumped one of the Atlantic players. He went down and then got the puck and did the wraparound. And they try to wrap around again. They must know something about Lytle, about wraparounds. They've been doing that a lot here in this game. 3 seconds left in the penalty to Nearing. And that goes to the far side. And the penalty's over, so the Miners even strength. And it's still a 2-0 hockey game for them. Out of Glace Bay, leading the Chebucto Atlantics. Shots now 9-7, so that whatever things they had, they seem to straighten out and have gotten some of their offensive pants on and getting some chances. At one time, it was 6-0 in terms of shots. Miners hoping to get something going that time. It was Nearing fresh out of the box there. Center, and it's picked off by the Atlantics and sent down. 4 minutes left to go. Second period. 2-0. Miners leading Chebucto Atlantics. The Adam AA Provincial Championship up for grabs. Puck gets by everybody, and it'll be first back there. Jimmy Rex for Chebucto Atlantics. Really nice to see him back here out on the ice here for this. We talked about it earlier, broken foot there in the playoff portions. They'll roll it right into Stonehouse, and he'll just cover up with 3:37 left to go.
Hockey Nova Scotia would like to acknowledge Upgrove and Boston Pizza Truro as indeed sponsors of the 2018 Hockey Nova Scotia Day of Champions. Thank them for their support.
Powell, Carson Smith, and Aaron Chip, the forward line here for the Chebucto Atlantics. And we're trying to win that attacking drone draw, and they still keep possession of it there in the Miners zone. The Miners will come up with a puck, but they can't clear. Darcy now cuts towards the middle. There's a wrist shot that doesn't get through, and Miners doing good at getting in the way. They're blocking these shots. Chip behind the net, tried to center. Nobody in a green jersey. Once again, all white jerseys there. They seem to be smart at getting in the areas and getting in the shooting and passing lanes here of these Chebucto Atlantics with 3 to go in the second. Miners here trying to break out. Here's McNeil. Dump it in. He's gassed. They'll go for a change. And they'll bring that Pilling, Tucker St. Clair, and Luke St. Clair line out. Smith here Zane Clark there for the Atlantics. Been a little bit quiet here in this game so far. 2.5 left to go. Here is Luke St. Clair. Cuts towards the middle. Not able to get a shot. He had some nice little moves and was, allowed to walk to the middle, but just lost the handle before he could get the shot. 2:12 left to go. Second period. Atlantics maybe hoping to strike some iron here before the end of this, and they go to the dressing rooms. They need something positive here. They've had a better second period. Clark there trying to get a shot. He was right there on the doorstep. Runs into a couple of white Miners there and goes down, and now the Miners will break out again. But it's a 1-on-2. St. Clair. Tucker St. Clair. And a nice body position there by Kenzie Smith. Steered him away and really didn't have much to shoot at and forced him away from the net. Clark fires a wrister, but it was brought back outside the line, so offside the call. 90 seconds left to go in this second period. Shots now even at 9-9, and if you would have told me that that was going to happen, I wouldn't believe it the way that the Miners started. The Atlantics almost started off the first period without getting a shot on goal. They got one late stages. Better second period for them. Not so great here for the Miners, so. Each team, of course, in the old days when house hockey, you'd have to, when you were at tournaments, it was like 5 points up for grabs. In a game, you'd have to win the first period, the second, the third period to get 6 points. So far right now, we would have to say that the second period was won by the Atlantics. Last minute to play here in the second period. 2-0 to score. Better period for them, just unable to get really anything of a dangerous shot at Stonehouse. 46 seconds left. Miners trying to get going. Here's Brady Matheson. Stellar game for him so far. Haven't been able to get one. Shot there by McNeil. Big juicy rebound, scores. He may not get the goal, but man, Brady Matheson did the work. He gets on his jets. He's hard to stop there for the Miners, and you've seen that. And this must be sort of tomorrow and hard there for the Atlantics. A better second period, but yet still nothing in terms of a goal, and they get maybe 1 or 2 shots of the second period and they bury one. That must be hard on the morale. And here they come once again. That scores! Once again, just like that, Luke St. Clair makes it 4-0. These are even strength goals too, and it's almost like 7 seconds after each other, 4-0. Couple bad breaks there here. Lady Luck not on the side here of the Atlantics. 4-0. McDonald with the goal. Two goals in 10 seconds, and the Miners pressing again here. Late stages, 2.5 seconds left to go. 2 goals in 10 seconds. McDonald 14:25. St. Clair 14:35. O'Handley and O'Neill in the first on power plays. You'll hear the horn. There it goes to indicate the end of the second period. And it has been all the Miners. They came out early, got 2 goals on the power play, 2-0, and it looked like they were just on their heels there for most of the second period. And then they found their game towards the late stages and put 2 more past Lytle, and it makes it 4-0 after 30 minutes of play. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the third period here in Truro's Day of Champions. You're watching Bell 5 TV 1. Third period set to get underway here at the Community Credit Union Arena in Truro, Nova Scotia. It's the Adam AA Provincial Championship up for grabs, and right now the Miners out of Glace Bay up by 4 against the Chebucto Athletics. O'Hanley, O'Neill, McDonald, and St. Clair are the goal scorers. My name's Dan Hobson, delighted to be back here for third period coverage of this one. And as we can pretty well see by the scoreboard in the corner of your screen, that the Athletics have some work cut out for them. Jacob Hartlett dumps it in. But it's going to be Cathcart, who is Defenseman of the Year for this minor team. They'll be first to the puck, up to St. Clair. Luke St. Clair. Of course, there's a Tucker St. Clair who is the Rookie of the Year, and it's even fantastic. He's out here. The age of 8. That's novice age, so that goes to show you how strong of a player he is. And, of course, Brady Matheson, who has an assist in this game, awarded a first-team All-Star. Luke St. Clair, Rory Pilling, Cale McDonald, and Brody O'Hanley were awarded second-team All-Stars. All rookies: Carter Ford, Tucker St. Clair, Brody Walker, and Cohen McNeil. And as we've talked about, Brooklyn McNeil, the only girl on the team. But Miners giving this Atlantic team all they can handle, and it's going to be a tough one there for them to come back. Here is Matheson. Oh, runs out of room there. One of the players falls down. It's McNeil there, Cohen McNeil. He seems to be okay as he gets up as he hit those inboards kind of hard. The fresh ice, you fall down, you're going to go for a good distance. Carson Smith, rink wide there, and a shot there by Chip doesn't get through. Just past 1 minute gone here in the third. 4-0 to score as the Miners continue to lead this one, and 23-1 in the regular season. So one loss is all they've had, and they are proven to be that they are a tough team to handle. They arrived in Truro last night here, so they look pretty fresh and pretty good for this one. Scores! Nice job, Jacob Hartland, top shelf, 4-1. They made something out of nothing, and then Hartland ended up just getting that and then sniping it over the shoulder of Stonehouse to break his shutout bid, 4-1. Kane Clark out here was the leading scorer, 35 points. Led them in that category, and 22 points for Walters too. So Hartland there with that beautiful goal, just top shelf. They're looking for another one. Scores! What do you say, Hartland? Go get another one. Oh, yes, I will. 4-2. Quick strikes is what they needed, and quick strikes is what they got. They're back in her, 4-2. .206. Hartland with back-to-backs. 20 seconds of each other, and it's 4-2. So just when you started maybe hitting one hand onto that championship banner there for the Miners, the Athletics, and they're pressing once again. Nice work done here. Just listening in there on the PA announcement, 20 seconds of each other. Makes it 4-2. Sometimes you need that playoff scoring out of maybe players that might have not been able to do it in the regular season. And Hartland coming up with 2 big goals, knowing that Kane Clark unable to get something going, but he's hoping to change that. And here he goes. Kane Clark was going through people. He seems to be gathering the Miners. Oh, there's a nice toe save there by Stonehouse just in the nick of time. he had to react quickly as Clark took off with that one from center ice area. That shot doesn't get through as Nearing was trying to get it through. Of course, Nearing and Brooklyn McNeil, they are cousins of each other. As that rolls in there to Stonehouse and he makes the stop. Yes, Brooklyn McNeil and Kyle Nearing are cousins. 4-2 is the score, so they needed a big third period here to try to win the championship, and they've got two goals, sort of 20 seconds back to back of each other. 2 goals in 20 seconds, and all of a sudden a comfortable lead for the Miners has gone by the wayside. The Atlantics look a little bit better, spinning Hurley looking for another one. You would have figured maybe if he got onto his stick the way that he was feeling, might have been 4-3 there. Here's McDonald. He's got 1 of 4 goals. There's a wrist shot. And getting a little bit was Lytle there with the glove. Wrist shot there. They're pressing once again. McDonald had a good opportunity. Lytle's out of position, has lost his stick. But the Atlantics will get it out to center ice area at a change. And they'll also get the goaltending stick there of Lytle's retrieved. So he has it now. Coming up to 4.5 gone in the third period. So far it has been all Atlantics. Puck stays in play. It goes high, but it does stay just to the penalty close to the scoring area. Speaking of scoring, St. Clair. Luke St. Clair, 5-2. Several of these kids from this team won Nova Scotia Provincial Baseball Championship last summer. 6 players played against the West Hanson last year's Adam Double-A Day of Champions. Rory Pilling, Brady Matheson, Luke St. Clair, Jesse Cathcart, Bryson Murphy, and Brody O'Hanley. And 4 players from last year were Adam A Provincial Champions, Kyle Nearing, Cale McDonald, Brooklyn McNeil, and Kobe LaFleur. And it's 5-2, but kind of figured that the Miners needed to get that next one, because if it ended up going the way of the Atlantics, all of a sudden you think maybe Delt would start to go into these teams. But that was a big one there by the Miners, and now they have a 3-goal lead. They had a 4-goal lead at one time in this game, and then it went to 2. But they have a little bit of more insurance now with 9:45 left to go. There's Chip going in, and Chip will excuse the ton, chip it in, go off for a change. Clark back out there now. Kane Clark with his 35 points in the regular season. And Walters with 22 points, so coach there trying to get something going here and get these guys generating some offense here. Penalty coming up. It's an interference call. 9:25 left to go. So 5:35 the time of the penalty. And it will be against Morgan Neville for interference. And just like that, Clark and Walters out here, as well as Hartland. So coach got a hunch here. Hartland, who's got 2. And they try to set him up, but doesn't get to him. There is Hartland with it, puts it right to Clark, and it went through his feet. And now we'll come to the blue line. Can Smith keep it in? No, he can't. It's just brought back outside the line as Kenzie Smith couldn't keep it in there for the Chebucto Atlantics. As I said, this team won a Dieppe Member Cup tournament, Alan Sullivan tournament, Cape Breton Cup champions. And they beat some pretty tough teams, 6-0. They beat the Cape Breton West in the finals, 9-0, and 9-0, and the Antigonish Bulldogs 4-0 in the Northern Conference game. Now, during the championships here, the Day of Champions, they usually call the captains over. This should be interesting if the Miners do win. I say that because there's 9 minutes left to go, so it's anything's possible here in hockey, of course. So But there are no team captains, so it'll be interesting to see which ones do go over. They have to get the banner and the trophy and if it goes the way of the Glace Bay Miners. 8:40 left to go, 1:15 left in the penalty to Neville, who's off for interference, hits the referee and banks out the center ice area. McFetridge up to Walters. Walters goes cross ice. Here's Clark with a wrist shot. And it hits a body and goes right onto the stick of the Miners, Matheson, and he'll send it, but it won't go all the way down. It'll get to the halfway between the blue line and the icing line there. It was knocked down there by the Chebucto Atlantics. And back they come, trying to break it out. Lead pass for Will Brown, can't handle it. Slapped down there by the Miners with 8 minutes left to go here in the third period. 35 seconds left in the penalty to Morgan Neville. Both players go down on the play. Now here comes the Atlantics, hoping here to maybe make this a 2-goal game here on this attack. But unable to get a shot there is Owen Hickey. He was pretty well all over him, was Jesse Cathcart. And Cathcart allowed that good defensive player. We talked about how he is a stellar defenseman all year, winning some awards in that category, and he showed it there. Here is St. Clair. Luke St. Clair, tried to set up Tucker St. Clair, and Lytle once again without his stick there. That's been a movie we've seen a lot here so far in this afternoon as McDonald's shot doesn't get through. St. Clair there jabbed it towards the net, but wide. Penalties over, so the Miners are even strength now. Past the halfway point of the third period. I don't know how Hickey didn't get away for body contact in that one. He ended up hitting the Miner player. Shot, and people reacted, but it hit the back of the net, not the inside, so people thought they might have scored here at the Community Credit Union Arena. Sent down the ice. They've iced the puck, the Atlantics have, with 6:46 left. Reminder, folks, of course, that we will stick around here for the presentation of the medals and the hardware and the banner for the teams, of course. So Heartland, the goal scorers for Chebucto, O'Hanley, O'Neill, McDonald, and St. Clair for the Miners. And McDonald, too. And it's 5-2. Hartland was right there. He had a chance for his hat trick goal. There was a gaping cage, but he was unable to find it. Here is McNeil now. McNeil versus speed, wrist shot, and that's stopped by Lytle. It's in the blue ice as he had difficulty handling it. And he does have the puck before it crosses the red line. Some of the Miner players were thinking it was in. He originally made the glove save, but he was unable to handle it. And Clark showing some good leadership here. King Clark patting his goalie on the back. He didn't originally have it, but it almost became 6-2, and that would have been a dagger here for sure for those Atlantics. They're already in deep trouble here with 6 minutes left to go, and time running out on their season here in the provincial championship. Really can't afford to give up anything more. And now Powell will break out here for the Atlantics. Gets it up to Smith. There's a rink-wide pass there. Carson Smith unable to handle it. Picked off and sent down. And you hear the reaction here from the Miner crowd. Showing some appreciation, showing some love there to their team. Kenzie Smith. With a burst of speed, rink-wide pass, Chip now. Chip 1-on-3 and went for the blue ice. Maybe hoping to get it off of one of those Miner players that were really close there to Stonehouse. 5:18 left to go. Miners hoping to clear it, but that actually hit the backside there of Darcy. Darcy is actually from the South Shore, travels 2 hours here for practices with the team. Delay penalty coming up here. It's going against the Miners. So here it goes, Little towards the bench here. Wrist shot. And Stonehouse has some difficulty handling it. It's there. Scores! The minor players saying they touched it. They may have a little bit of a dispute, but it's a power play goal, 5-3. Stonehouse not too happy here, thinking that maybe he had possession of it. Didn't get the whistle, and then the puck came loose, and it was still going on. Minor players were standing still thinking it should have stopped, but give them credit, the Atlantics didn't quit, and that's 5-3, and they needed that one. 4:51, power play goal. We'll get and listen to the announcement on the goal. Danny Walters, second leading scorer in the regular season. Number 18, Max Darcy. They said 19, but there's no 19 out there, but it's Max Darcy. 10:09 the time from Darcy. 10:09, and you can just see they're going to try to get that next one here with 4:09 left. This will roll down to Stonehouse, and he'll set it aside there for Luke St. Clair. Luke St. Clair has a little bit of open ice as the Atlantics were changing. End-to-end rush here for Luke St. Clair. Tries to center it. It's a skate of an Atlantic player. Now they center it again there, and it's picked off by the Atlantics, and they try to break wide. They'll actually put it back. Not able to clear the zone. I don't know how Luke St. Clair has any wind left after making that nice little rush from the end, but he did keep it alive there. Here's O'Hanley, one of the 4 goal scorers. Got that wrist shot from 55 feet out that Lytle got a piece of the blocker on him, pretty well put it right in the corner of his own net to make it 5-3. And back out center ice it is, goes. Nearing will dump it in. It takes a funny bounce off of Kenzie Smith. 3:15 left to go. Brown goes rink wide. Hickey goes in, taps it the rest of the way. They're gassed, but they want to go for a change, so they'll bring that Clark-Hartland line as well as Walters. That has been a little bit of a dangerous combination here for the Atlantics. They need offense, down by 2, less than 3 to go. Pilling, going in. Left it there for Neville, and Neville unable to get a shot. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but Lytle lost a stick again. Now it's recovered, and on the attack go the Atlantics with 2:40 left to go, and poked out center ice. Foot there, Haas didn't wait as he had one of his teammates trapped. So now they're onside and they're ready to start here to get a forecheck going and try to create a turnover. They almost did as Walters turned around at the wrong time. If he didn't, he might have been able to pick it off and go for a scoring chance. Here's Smith now. Smith tried to cut and go through the trees. That didn't work for him. 2:14 left. Clark still trying here. They need 2 goals, and time is not on their side right now. The Miners will get it out to center ice area. And Walters a little bit eager there as one of his line mates, Smith, was still trapped there. So it's going to be brought back outside the line on the offside. Exactly 2 minutes left to go here in the 3rd period. Chebucto Atlantics are calling a timeout here. Be interesting the strategy that Glazebrook really puts here for his team to see if he decides to maybe pull Lytle, try to get that extra attacker out there to try to generate some offensive chances. I mean, you look at the way that the other hockey is played in these days, and usually this is when you pull your goaltender. If you're down by 2 is with 2 minutes left. It's getting to be if you're down by 1 goal, you wait till the 1 minute marker. If it's a 2 minute, it's, and just to prove my point, 6 attackers out here for the Atlantic. So the Miners may take a little bit of time to look at that net and try to ice that puck and try to put it towards the center of the net there to maybe put an end to this one and maybe put a little bit more fingers and hands on that banner and that championship trophy. 1:35 left to go. All hands on deck here for the Atlantics. And the Miners do get it out. Here is a foot race. Can Sinclair catch up to it in time? Tucker Sinclair, no. All the Atlantics got back in time. Now they got to get on the attack with 1:18 left. Chip player. Heartland, who's got 2 goals here in this one. But it's going to be the Sinclair comes off of it. Can he clear and get it past? Yes, he can. Here's Matheson looking at the empty net. Matheson! Oh, wide of the net. But it was done there well, but the Atlantic player got back and hassled him just enough as we're under a minute to go here in the third period. 5-3 to score. Atlantic's pressing, hoping maybe to get a little bit closer. Darcy unable to pull the trigger on the shot. He got it there, but didn't get a lot of wood on it, wood composite, whatever they use for sticks these days. Anyway, the Miners will clear to center ice. So, and Matheson all over the Atlantic player here, so now they'll try to get the breakout, but it's picked off by St. Clair. Luke St. Clair trying to get at that empty net here to ice it here for the Miners. Neville may have a chance to ice it here from center ice. Scores! So they'll get a little bit of a celebration, but they're going to have another celebration in 8.9 ticks from now. It makes it 6-3. So they only lost 1 game in the regular season, and they came in here hoping to win a championship. And after a strong first period, they're on their way to it. Countdown's on, 2, 1. There you go, the sticks flying up into the air. Your Anthem AA provincial champions, the Glace Bay Miners. Disappointment for the Chebucto Atlantics, but give them credit for not giving up, because that first period they only had like 1 shot on goal, and it came to the late stages of the first period. So if Lytle wasn't as sharp as he was, it could have been worse. He gave a chance, and then it was 4-0 after 2 periods of play, and then they struck early in the third period. Chebucto bid. They made it interesting, 4-2, but they were unable to really get within striking distance, and they're going to take home a silver medal here at the Adam AA Provincial Championships. That's the thing. It's really hard, of course. Teams work hard, they travel hard, the parents do a lot of work as well, and you know, to be on the short end of it, it's disappointment for now, but you know, probably in a couple of days you'll probably realize that your accomplishment and say, hey, we actually got to this far here at the championships. I mean, you think of some other teams that have gotten and have played in this division, haven't gotten here onto this stage, so Chebucto Atlantics, congratulations to them on the silvers. Maybe not the color that you're looking for, but they did play well. They had a little bit of a shaky start. As I said, it's going to be interesting to see which one of the Glace Bay Miners players go to get the trophy and the silverware. Just paying respects and giving medals out to the referees and the linesmen there for their officiating of this Adam AA Provincial Championship.
Ask the officials to come forward
This is a nice touch where the officials do get where you see this at the ice hockey championships as well. They get accreditation, you know, things, silverware, I guess you could say, to remember that you officiated this game, and it's something that they can't take away from you. As Kane Clark will get the player of the game, and his teammates go to with him as well. You see this a lot these days in these championship presentation things. It's
Hockey Nova Scotia player of the game for the gold medal winners, the Glace Bay Miners. Goes to number 12, Luke Sinclair.
Couldn't disagree with that. Luke Sinclair pretty well was all over the ice here as he goes to get his player of the game medal.
The Boston Pizza Churros Most Sportsmanlike Player of the Game Award from the Chebucto Athletics goes to number 11, Owen Hickey.
Owen Hickey goes to get the sportsman player of the game there for the Chebucto Athletics.
The Boston Pizza's Most Sportsmanlike Player of the Game for the gold medal winners, the Glace Bay Miners goes to number 15, Rory Pilling.
Rory Pilling gets it for the Glace Bay Miners, and not to mention that, he had a stellar game. It was like he was on that top line there with the two Sinclair brothers, of course, Tucker and Luke. And
finally, the
did very well, and of course gets a sportsmanlike player of the game there for the Miners. Tucker Sinclair there. So Sinclair gets the Tucker Sinclair, the player of the game there. So all it's really left to do now is hand out the silver medals and then the gold.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to award the silver medalists to the Chebucto Athletics. First off, number 16 man in goal, Owen Lighton.
Lytle there, the goaltender there, and he also did very well and really kept it close because they were badly outshot there as Charlie Bisson, the backup goaltender here for this one.
Number 7, Logan Foote.
Number 3, Kenzie Smith and Logan Foote. Jimmy Rex. Broken foot, made it back in time here to get into this championship game. Owen Hickey.
Number 18, Max Darcy.
Glenn McFettridge and Max Darcy to say at a South Shore. Number 2, Carson Smith, and
Number 4, Ryan Hickey.
Ryan Hickey as well.
Number 5, Will Brown.
Brown was all over the place, just really unable to get nothing much going in terms of shots. Andy Walters got on the score sheet. Kane Clark maybe hoping for a better result here, but it didn't materialize. But good season nonetheless there for, of course, Clark and Walters.
Number 13, Jacob Hartland.
Jacob Hartland, 2 goals in this one. He earned that silver medal. Congratulations to him.
Manager Kathy Powell. Coaches Jared Glazebrook, Mark Hartland, Curtis Gregoire, and Derek Smith.
So the coaching staff getting, as I said, Jared Glazebrook, Curtis Gregoire. Gregoire had a son. His son Jordan didn't get into the lineup here with scratch. Mark Hartland, Derek Smith, and Kathy Powell, the manager, getting their medals. Chebucto Athletics. The score may not indicate it, but if you take away that first period, and this is a completely different game. And they still almost made it close. They got within 2 goals, but that is as far as they got. PA Doucher gets everybody going with the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat music. It's the gold medals. Glace Bay, stand up and cheer. Your Adam AA Boys Provincial Champions, getting their gold medals, the Glace Bay Miners. Jonathan Coombs, backup goaltender in this one, but
Also manning the pipes this year for the Miners, number 30, William Stonehouse.
Stonehouse didn't see much of the duty, much of the shots here in this game, but when he had to be called upon, once the Atlantics got some shots on goal, they were strong scoring chances. Bryson Murphy.
Number 8, Jesse Cathcart.
Cathcart, Defenseman of the Year. A fantastic season. A good way to wrap things up here. LaFour. The lone female on the team. Wonder what future she's got in female hockey, or maybe even playing into Pee-wees, of course. A lot of female players from, of course, northern Nova Scotia have to play in the Pee-wee with the guys, so she gets used to it now and gets some hardware. Luke St. Clair. Brody Walker, pretty good game too. Tucker St. Clair, the 8-year-old novice age player, Rookie of the Year. And of course, the second team All-Star. Actually, it was Luca was a second team All-Star. Tucker was a rookie, of course, along with Carter and Cohen McNeil. So now the coaching staff there for the Glace Bay Miners. Robert Sinclair, Bobby O'Hanley, Tyson Drome Matheson, and Glenn Ford. And this should be interesting. The captains coming to get the banner and the hardware. They're all going together. No team captains, you might as well. Once again, Glace Bay, stand up and cheer your Miners, your AA Adam Provincial Champions. You don't often see a team with captains, no captains on the team, but there you go. So that will wrap it up here. So we're going to get ready for our next one. It's Midget B Provincial Final up for grab. Cole Harbour Wings, Acadia Axemen. So for my camera operator, Neil Gordon, my name's Ned Hobson. Delighted to call this one. Thank you so long here from the Community Credit Union Arena in Truro, Nova Scotia. You're watching Hockey Nova Scotia, Day of Champions on Bell 5 TV1.